welcome. I hope you're doing well. Today I've got some more knitting and crochet patterns to share with you. This is a follow-up video to one of the first videos that I ever made that did extremely well, to be honest. I was really overwhelmed at the response and very grateful that so many people took the time to watch that video and found it helpful. And in that video I had compiled a lot of patterns that I had my eye on that would do well as sort of a jeans and a nice top type of clothing item. Now there's a lot more patterns where that came from. I didn't even scratch the surface of everything that I'd saved, and I also got some amazing suggestions and recommendations in the comments of that video, so I thought I would share some more with you. There's actually a lot more than 15 because there are a lot of honourable mentions here, and I've kind of grouped together extra patterns from the same designer that I want to give a quick shout out to, or patterns that are quite similar. So hopefully you'll find this useful. In my first video I kind of focused on patterns that I would wear now to go out to the pub or the club or whatever. I think this sort of top is kind of a good indicator of what my style is like now. I didn't knit this, I bought it on Vinted. I would hate to try and knit this because I think it's like lace weight yarn, but this sort of vibe is where I am at now. But these patterns cover this sort of clothing, but also I have included a few that I would have worn when I was younger, and also a few that I think I would be happy to wear maybe to the office and then out for a nice dinner, more modest type of patterns. So hopefully there's something in here for everyone. As before, the first 8 patterns are going to be knitting and then the last 7 are going to be crochet. So if you only dabble in one of the crafts, you can skip around as you like. But before I dive in, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Hobbii. Hobbii is a Danish website that specialises in high quality yarns made of natural fibres at a great price point. At the moment, their price point is even better than normal because they're doing an extended sale for all of November to celebrate Black Friday. So I want to do a little bit of a yarn haul. I've actually got such an incredibly generous amount of yarn here to show you. It literally felt like Christmas when I saw these. I think I probably did scream a little bit. So the first yarn I've got here is this gorgeous dark red colour. This is the Unicorn Solid by Hobbii, which is 75% merino wool, 25% polyamide. The shade, I think it's called dark red. It's colour number 17, and I think it's sort of perfect for my autumn complexion. I kind of struggle with a lot of reds. A lot of them I think either are too bright or too blue or too orange, and I really prefer a darker red, but a lot of them lean very burgundy. So I think this is an absolute winner for me. It's extremely soft. I've got 3 skeins of it here, and I'm going to make the breezy long sleeve top by Kiss Kiss Rhinestones with this. I think that's going to be a perfect sweater to wear around Christmas time and for the rest of the winter too. Next I've got this sweater quantity of Divina by Hobbii. This is a blown yarn, it's worsted weight, it's 65% alpaca, 28% polyamide and 7% wool. This feels equally soft. I've only seen good reviews of this online, and I've got 6 balls of the off-white colour. This is colour number 2, and also 1 ball of colour number 22, which is this navy colour, and then 1 ball of colour number 15. I think this one is called Sangria. It's actually, to compare, so the shades of red, you can see what I mean about most reds like this one being a bit more blue toned, whereas this is, I think, more of a neutral red. I don't mind this one being cool toned because I'm just going to use this for colour work, and I plan to make another Kiss Kiss Rhinestone pattern with these. I'm going to make the Pippi pullover. I spoke about that pattern in my colour work sweater knitting patterns video. It's a free pattern and it's been playing on my mind ever since, so I'm really excited to knit it up. Okay, moving on to bag number 2. I'm so grateful that I'm surrounded by all this wonderful yarn. It's an absolute dream. I've got 9 balls of this upcycled Suri alpaca. This is 100% Suri alpaca by Hobbii, and it feels wonderful. I've never used Suri alpaca before, and I'm really excited to see what it's all about. This has got quite a short meterage per 50 grams. It's 110 meters per 50 grams, so kind of on like a DK worsted weight sort of scale. This colour is kind of out of my comfort zone. I don't wear a lot of pink, but this sort of really dusty rose is almost, I think, as neutral as pink could possibly go. I think it kind of suits me. It's a lot darker than it looks on the website, but I think it works in my favour. I think that this will complement my skin tone quite well. With this, I haven't got a specific pattern in mind, but I really want to make like a zip up sweater with a zip going down the full body, not just like a quarter zip. I've never incorporated a zip into a sweater before, but I really like the look of them. So if you have a pattern in mind that incorporates a zip like that, please let me know. I should have more than enough yarn for a sweater with these 9 balls, so maybe I'll have enough to make a matching hat or something. As I've never worked with Suri alpaca before, I also got this soft alpaca yarn, which is 100% alpaca, in shade number 25. This is a fingering weight yarn, and I got 6 balls of this to potentially hold double with the Suri alpaca. I'll have to gauge swatch to see if maybe this is too fluffy and doesn't really need a second strand, but just in case this shows up as like quite a wholly knit, I've got this to give it structure. So stay tuned. I'm definitely going to show you what I make with this. I'm really excited to work with it. And if you want to buy any of these yarns for yourself or have a look at Hobbii's other yarns, they've got so many to choose from. I have a code that gets you an extra 5% off their Black Friday sale, which I'll put on the screen now. And thank you again to Hobbii for sponsoring and overwhelming me with such beautiful yarns. I can't believe my luck. Okay, let's go. The first knitting pattern I want to share with you is the Frankie top by LePool. This is a halter neck top with stripes, and the halter neck is one of those ones that comes right in to a point and then ties around your neck. I know halter neck tops can end up meaning a few different things, but I really like the specific cut of this one. And I think stripes, it seems silly to say that like stripes are trending, but I've noticed like stripes on a lot of knitting patterns recently. I think it's a really nice, very simple way to like bring a little bit of extra personality into your knit, so you can like choose the colour scheme according to like your tastes, or if that's not your vibe, you could just not do the stripes and knit it in black and it'll be very chic and minimal. This is knit bottom up on circular needles, so no seaming. It comes in 5 sizes, from size extra small to extra large. The top has 30 centimeters of negative ease, which is obviously what holds it up around the bust, as well as the little strap around the neckline. Recommended yarn is fingering weight cotton. LePool is a wonderful pattern maker. Like, I really recommend you look through their entire website if you're looking for some knitwear inspiration. But there are 2 other patterns that are pretty similar to this one that I want to mention. Specifically, I want to mention the Cowberg top because it goes from sizes extra small to 7XL, so a much better size range. And it's very similar in the neckline, but it is backless. So it just sells up with a little string around the back, which is quite cute. And also, like, if you're going to be dancing, that's very good ventilation. The second similar top by LePool is the Nina top. And this has a really cool asymmetric neckline detail. So it's sort of like a halter, but it goes like here and then stretches out. I think this is the most unique pattern of the 3 actually. I'm really into like an asymmetric neckline at the moment. And I think that the colours of the test knit are kind of trendy. They remind me of like that Brazil t-shirt that's all over like fashion influencers Instagram. Knitting pattern number 2 is the drop loop top by Other Loops. I wanted to add this because I think this pattern is probably the most similar to what I'm wearing now if you want to recreate this. This top has a mixture of panels of stockinette and then panels of drop stitches which create the see-through sheer effect. This pattern has 0 ease, positive or negative, and I think I might be making this too, because although I do really like this top, I think it is a bit tight fitting and I do prefer the look of something a little bit looser. I really like how these sort of tops look with just like a little black bralette underneath. To knit this, it's recommended to use 4mm circular needles and silk yarn. I think that's DK weight silk. Lovely. And if you really like the look of this one but you want something that's less sheer, honorary mention to the Naomi top by Marie-Lena Tricote, which has a very similar panel. So I think it's actually done with something that looks like maybe a 5x5 rib or a 4x4 rib. This one's a bit more tight fitting, but it has a really nice boat neck vest shape to it. What I've put in for number 3 is less one pattern and more like one pattern designer, because I was really struggling to pick a favourite to feature. My favourite, I think, from this designer, who is Anxious Girl Knits, is the Hanky halter top, which again features that I think 4x4 rib pattern. It seems to be something that I really go for, but this has a really lovely neckline to it with tie straps, which I always love a tie strap, especially for knitting, because that means that if your knitting ends up stretching, you can just tie it tighter and you don't have to worry about like redoing the straps or anything. And the top also has this really lovely sort of V at the front, where the middle is longer than the sides, which I think is really flattering. The recommended yarn and needles for this pattern is cotton Aran and 3.5mm circular needles. My other favourite patterns from Anxious Girl Knits include the crisscross puff top, which has got really cute puff sleeves and an open back. Then the triple threat cami, which genuinely looks like a feat of engineering. I am so impressed that someone's been able to do it with knitting, but not only do it with knitting, but explain it in a pattern. This is also backless, and I think you can make this shorter or longer. From the tester photos, there's a really cute short bralette version of this too. And then the last pattern I'll mention in this video from Anxious Girl Knits is the bicolor wrap cami. This has multiple ways to wear. I would wear this going out when I was younger if I made this in black, but I think now I would knit it in white and wear it to the beach. Number 4 on my list, we have to talk about Unlucky Knits. We have to talk about Unlucky Knits. If you like Lipul and you haven't heard of Unlucky Knits, check them out, and then vice versa as well. Both of their websites kind of feel like you're shopping on like a luxury designer boutique, and instead of buying garments, you're buying patterns, which kind of adds to the excitement of buying, I think. So this is the Cosmo top by Unlucky Knits. This has got the coolest cutout. So it's got like a normal neckline and then it just goes, and I really love how the top shows off this model's tattoos. Actually, that looks so cool. I think if you only saw this top from the front, you would assume that it's not that secure and that it could fall down on the side that isn't attached. But if you look at the back, it's a normal back of the top, so even the part is so hard for me to explain to my body, but basically this part is still attached even when the front isn't connected. So I think that's going to hold the top up without having to bother about like putting an elastic around here. This top goes from extra small to 5XL plus 3 fits for different body type. I assume that that means like bust and waist shaping is included, and the garment has a slight negative ease. Recommended needles for this are 4mm and 3.5mm. The recommended yarn is silk. Work with 2 strands together or DK weight, I would say. So either 2 strands of fingering or a DK weight yarn needed for this. While we're on the subject of Unlucky Knits, a quick shout out to their Twisted Love top pattern. This is cute. This is a cute one. It's got another cool cutout just under the bust, and the bust is twisted and it's got little cap sleeves. It's a really nice mixture between like sort of a cottagecore fairy girl pattern and more of like a contemporary like chic pattern. It's also got that exact same ribbing detail that I love. God, I just love ribbing. I wish it didn't hurt my hands. For pattern number 5, we've got the Juno top, and this pattern actually has 4 different ways to knit it. So the way that the top can be made that I fell in love with was this Diana Revenge dress type top. It's off the shoulder with little sleeves, a really nice scalloped hem, and it doesn't look cropped at all, which I know that you can modify like how long any garment is really to suit whether you like it cropped or not, but I think it's nice to like be shown what it looks like a bit longer. The other ways to knit the pattern are with longer sleeves, without any sleeves at all, so it's a bandeau. And there's another, the 4th one I really love. I don't think it's going out, it's more daytime appropriate I think, but it's just like a really nice tank top with scalloped hems. The pattern includes tailored bust shaping using German short rows and bust darts, and it has a lot of negative ease which will hold it onto your shoulders, I'm sure. This comes in sizes from 1 to 16, love to see it, and the recommended yarn is fingering weight with 3.5mm needles. Pattern number 6 is the Curious Crop by What Lydia Made. What Lydia Made is one of my favourite knitting influencers that I follow. I don't really keep up a lot with Instagram. Honestly, I get bored with Instagram very easily, but I love to check in on what Lydia made and what they're up to and what they're knitting. Also, everyone that has made one of their patterns raves about it. I've literally only ever heard positive reviews about their patterns. So if you're looking for something that's very well written, this is probably the one to go for. There's a really cute high-necked vest top with a circular cutout in the middle, and I love the samples in the pictures. They're all so fun and colourful. One of them incorporates like a chart to go around the neckline. I love how that looks. It has a slight negative ease and it's knit on 3mm needles with fingering weight yarn. This comes in sizes 1 through 11. Pattern number 7 is the Ophelia blouse by Starcross Knits. I think the best way to describe this pattern is just pretty. Like, it's just straight up so pretty. It's cutesy, it's feminine, it's got lovely lace work and buttons down the front that just show like a little bit of skin or like a tank top underneath. This is knitted with 1 strand of fingering weight silk yarn, so it's going to be an absolute luxury to wear. It comes in 16 sizes and has a mixture of 0 ease at the bust and the waist and a bit of positive ease at your hips. The lacework is actually done with a crochet hook, so this is a really cool design if you want to incorporate both of those skills at once. Starcross Knits has also recently released a tank top version of this that I think is a little bit more modest and maybe daytime friendly, that doesn't have the buttons all the way down and the skin showing. It just has like a nice v-neck tank top look to it, but still with the beautiful lace edges. This is something that's on my to knit list personally. Like, I already have the wool for it and it is in the works. In my brain, it's in the queue. Pattern number 8 marks the last of the knitting patterns. This is the Campanula Tee by Cupid Knits. I've included this one as an offering to those of us that are looking for cute tops that you can wear like day to night. My office has no dress code and this is the sort of thing that I would wear to the office, but then also feel like completely appropriate going out for dinner wearing the same thing. It's got a little bit of mock neck and the most beautiful like lettuce hem on the collar and the sleeves. I don't think I've seen any other knitting patterns that incorporate a lettuce hem, so I would love to know how to do it. This is knitted in sport weight yarn on very small needles, 2.5mm needles. I especially really love how the white sample looks. I think it really lets the irregular ribbing detail shine. This pattern comes in sizes 1 through 12. You know what's really crazy is I genuinely thought I had straight hair until like 6 months ago, and I would curl it using a curling wand to make it look pretty much like this, and turns out all it needed was like half a can of mousse. Anyway, let's talk crochet. First top I've got to show you is the Mun crop top by I Will Crochet. This is Sailor Moon inspired, but I think it's like pretty subtle. Like, I've watched Sailor Moon, I love Sailor Moon. When I went to Tokyo, I actually got my nails done with the most beautiful, intricate Sailor Moon nail art. And I went to this nail lady and her studio was in her house. She had like 3 ragdoll cats and a TV, and she put like the Sailor Moon movie on the TV while she was doing my nails. We were there for like 3 hours. It was great, like one of my favourite memories of Tokyo. Anyway, yeah, I think this is a really nice subtle take on the Sailor Moon collars. It is basically just a halter neck top. This pattern is made to measure, so it can fit any size. This is quite a common theme in crochet patterns. A lot of them aren't graded for specific sizes, and this design uses worsted weight cotton yarn. Next crochet top is a very cute one. This is the Lucy top by Azora's Shop. This is adorable. Like, look at the bunnies! Are you kidding me? It's a really romantic, feminine square neck top with a little sort of capped sleeves and a scallop hem around the neck. The tester photos feature a lot of very different versions of this. There's some with little bunnies, some with flowers. There's a really nice like bone back on one of them. This pattern is also made to measure, and you can use a variety of weights of yarn to make it. I think roughly around fingering or DK weight. Crochet top pattern number 3 is the Kiara top by Gabriella's Yarn. This pattern is kind of a crochet take on a short sleeved shirt, and in the pattern photos a lot of them are very cropped, which I think adds to like the more like going out vibes of it. This pattern is also made to measure, and you can use whatever yarn and hook size you would like. Next for crochet, we've got the Meraki vest by Wood and Larn by Lucia. I think this is a really nice pattern to go for if you only crochet but you like the look of some knit garments. I think that this vest looks almost like it was knitted. I actually don't know what kind of stitch it is because it looks really similar to a knit rib stitch. From the front, this looks like a pretty basic looking vest top, but then when you turn to the side, you can see that it's got really cute little tie side details that would be good for both like ventilation, but also like showing like either a little bit of like a cute top that you've got on underneath, or your skin, or whatever you like. And then if you make it and then you figure out that's not your thing, you could totally just seam it up and then you've got a really nice vest top. One of the pictures for this pattern is actually a dress, and it looks like a really nice beach appropriate dress to wear. This again is made to measure. Pattern 13 of 15 is once again not one pattern but 4. All of these patterns are variations of a similar theme of like sheer mesh long sleeve tops. As you can probably tell by some of the previous patterns and what I'm wearing, I'm a big fan of something sheer with like a little bralette or tank top underneath. The pattern that I would be most likely to make of these 4 is the cropped long sleeve mesh top by Kanikse Crochet. I really like the look of these almost stockinette type stitches in between the drop stitches. Because of the nature of the garment, I bet you could create this pretty quickly. This is made with DK yarn and a 4.5mm crochet hook and comes in sizes extra small to extra large. The other mesh crochet sweaters I want to share are the Seedling sweater by Bay Crochet, which is a bit more romantic, maybe a bit more beachy, depending on the colour that you make it. The Seedling sweater features like wavy vertical lines and leaf designs. Then the Boho Lace crochet sweater by Matima Atan Crochet features a kind of similar look, but it's more delicate. I think it's done with a thinner yarn. And then the last one is the Cable Mesh sweater by I Am Lanka Designs, which basically looks like a cable sweater but with big drop stitches. This again, I love how they mimicked knit stitches with crochet. So both the rib neckline looks almost like knit, and then we've got these cables through the front that I'm actually intrigued about how that's done. It looks great. I wonder if you could make like a non-open work sweater with these sorts of cables. I've never done cabling. I really should, shouldn't I? I should really learn how to do cables. Seems like a faff though. 3 needles, like 2's enough. I will learn. I'll probably put it on my New Year's resolutions. Right, this is our penultimate top. This is the Harper top by Lanka by Me. And I think this is the closest crochet version to these sort of open work vest knits, but this has got a different type of stitch to it that almost looks like little flowers, which I think makes it look more girly and cute. Actually, not only do they look like flowers, but they also look a bit like a lattice, like with big diamonds in the middle. Very pretty. Big fan of the boat neck as well. This, again, made to measure. It's made top down with no seaming or joining. Love to hear it. And recommended for this is fingering weight or sport weight yarn and a 4.5mm crochet hook. You know I had to save a showstopper for last. So pattern number 15 is the Vanessa top by Melc, N-M-E-L-C, question mark. Genuinely no idea how to pronounce that. Sometimes I have an inkling. This one, no idea. But this is gorgeous. It's like a bustier corset type of top, but the bottom hem is made to look like the bottom of a butterfly's wings. And then you've also got secondary straps that go around your neck but mimic a butterfly's antenna. So clever, like proper artistry this. And I think, you know, you could really like play around with colours if you wanted to really like make the butterflyness of the pattern stand out. Now in the actual description for the pattern, it doesn't say much about the sizing or the type of yarn to use, so I had a look through what the testers said, and from the tester notes, this pattern is made to measure, and one of the testers used a 4.5mm hook and worsted weight yarn. I don't know if maybe you could swap that out. I think some of the tester photos do look like they have been made with thinner yarns than others. And that brings us to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you found this useful, because I can always make more. I could probably end up cranking out about 10 of these videos with the patterns that I've got saved. And please leave me more suggestions down below if there's patterns that I need to know about. Especially crochet actually, because my algorithm has definitely picked up on the fact that I'm primarily a knitter, and it's harder for me to find new and cool crochet designers than it is for knitwear. Thank you also to Hobbii for sponsoring this video. I'm looking at my big pile of yarn at my feet with like absolute glee. And I'll leave my code in the description if you'd like to browse their Black Friday sales. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!